The Boston Celtics are on the verge of a major transformation, and the upcoming months could define the future of the franchise. With the new ownership about to take the reins, there's a chance that the team will secure yet another NBA championship in the near future. However, as the final stretch of the regular season unfolds with just 8 games left before the playoffs, a lingering question arises. What if the Celtics fail to capture the title this year? That could set the stage for a significant overhaul of the roster. This is the situation we find ourselves in now, and it's what we need to talk about. Last year, we witnessed the Celtics' journey to the NBA Finals firsthand, following each phase of the playoffs until they secured their long-awaited championship. If there's interest, we might even consider doing the same for the upcoming playoff run, covering the first few rounds and possibly the NBA Finals itself. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's address the situation on the horizon. The Celtics are facing a huge financial challenge with the projected luxury tax hit for the 2025 season, which could reach a staggering $500 million. As a result, the management will have to make some difficult decisions, especially concerning the team's starting lineup, where nearly every player is considered a star and carries a hefty salary. What's been built over the years is truly impressive, leading the team to its first championship in over 16 years. But change is inevitable if the Celtics want to avoid further penalties, potentially impacting draft picks and the future of the franchise. This means that trade possibilities are on the table, an unfortunate but necessary reality in the world of professional sports. This is a harsh reality to face, but it's the one we must confront. The next few months will be crucial for the players, especially for one in particular who finds himself in a precarious position. If the Celtics fail to win the NBA Finals in 2025, a series of trades will likely become a reality. This is something we can't ignore. In the coming months, every player's performance will matter, but one player, in particular, will have to be under a microscope. This player has been progressing in his career, but carries a high salary that could be restructured. Given his current season performance, this could be the ideal moment for the team to explore other options to improve their starting lineup. And unfortunately, this player might be the odd one out. You might be wondering why I would advocate for trading one player over another. The answer is simple. The player in question has missed more than half the games this season due to health issues, raising serious concerns about his physical durability moving forward. The Celtics front office decided to renew his contract in the offseason, signaling their intention to keep him around for a while, and I, too, have supported that move. He's been a valuable asset to the team since his arrival. However, my preference now would be to move him instead of another player on the roster, and here's why. Next season, this player will earn $32 million, followed by $34 million and $37 million in subsequent years. By the time he turns 35 next year, and with the expectation that he'll enter free agency in 2028 at 38 years old, it may be too late for the Celtics to move him for valuable assets. Although it's clear that a player in this age range can still perform at a high level, as we've seen with veterans across the league, this player's situation is a bit different. He offers significant defensive value and can contribute around 12 to 14 points on a good night, but the window for trading him effectively is closing fast. As he nears 36 or 37, it will become increasingly difficult to move him for assets that can genuinely benefit the team. There may be opportunities to include draft picks or potentially target promising young talent, but I firmly believe that this season represents the best opportunity to trade him, especially considering his recent slight decline in performance. If the Celtics want to capitalize on his value, now might be the time to explore options. Of course, there's a possibility that the team could find a way to keep him, but his diminishing productivity means that the front office needs to act fast. Jrue Holiday is another name that could be on the trade block. His performance has slightly dipped in recent years, including this season, and while it's tough to come to terms with, I believe that Jrue Holiday may very well be traded after the 2025 season if the Celtics don't manage to win the title. It's a tough call, as I don't harbor any personal ill will toward Jrue, but we must be realistic. The team cannot sustain the current roster indefinitely, especially with 2 of the highest-paid players in the league already on the books. Holiday's contract, which will pay him $32 million next season, could be a liability if the Celtics fail to win another championship. Although it's hard to say this, from a business perspective, it makes sense for the Celtics to explore trading Drew Holiday. This isn't a personal opinion, but rather a pragmatic business decision. If the Celtics need to consider trading Drew, I'd argue that it might be their best course of action. It's not easy to let go of a player who has contributed so much, but given the financial constraints and the looming luxury tax penalties, the team will have to make some tough choices. Drew's contract puts him in a vulnerable position, and with the team's salary cap issues, he might be the most expendable player on the roster. While Drew might be the first to go, he's not the only one who could be traded. The Celtics might also look into moving other players if the opportunity arises. However, it's crucial to remember that long-term expectations don't always pan out due to factors like injuries, and the team has to act now while they still have a chance to improve the roster. Drew Holiday is a player who could be moved quickly, making him an attractive piece for trade talks. If the Celtics are to enter the market for free agents, or even consider a bigger trade involving multiple players, it will likely hinge on the uncertainty surrounding a veteran's retirement. Another issue is the need to bolster the center position, which remains a major area of concern for the team. It's not just about the current roster. There's a pressing need for additional depth, especially as the team looks ahead to the future. With the possibility of retirement hanging over the heads of certain players, the Celtics will need to prepare for that eventuality and make sure that the team remains competitive. In the event of a major trade or free agent acquisition, the Celtics would likely target a young player with high potential, someone who could offer improvements in scoring, rebounding, and interior defense. If the Celtics can, regardless of the players who might enter the trade market, the Celtics front office will be focused on making the right moves to ensure the team's future success. There's confidence in their ability to manage the roster effectively, given their deeper understanding of team management compared to many other organizations in the league. But if the Celtics don't secure another championship, it will undoubtedly lead to an interesting offseason. The Celtics cannot afford to stand pat if they're not winning championships. If they fail to capture another title, the team will have to reevaluate its roster and possibly make significant moves to get back on track. In the world of NBA management, every decision counts. A loss in the Eastern Conference Finals or in the NBA Finals could turn this summer into one of the most critical periods in recent Celtics history. The team cannot afford to stay stagnant if they're not competing for titles. On the other hand, if the Celtics do manage to win another championship, it will be worth dealing with the financial consequences, especially if it means securing the team's place among the league's elite for years to come. It's this tension that makes the coming months so crucial. The Celtics have the opportunity to build on their success, but they also face the risk of significant changes if they don't reach their goals. As the offseason approaches, the Celtics will have to navigate a delicate balance between retaining key players and managing their salary cap. The future of the franchise hinges not only on the decisions made regarding the roster, but also on how they approach the upcoming draft and free agency. With the financial situation looming over them, the front office must act swiftly and wisely to avoid further penalties and position the team for continued success. While some may argue that maintaining the current roster is the safest path forward, the reality is that changes might be necessary to keep the team competitive in the long run. The team has already made significant strides in recent years, reaching the NBA Finals and securing a championship, but the constant pressure of the luxury tax and the aging of certain players will force the Celtics to consider a new direction. One thing is clear. The status quo is no longer sustainable, and a championship-caliber team requires constant adjustments. The Celtics' decision-making process will be under intense scrutiny as they weigh the options before them. With several high-profile players on the roster, the front office will have to decide whether to trade away a key player to free up cap space or bolster the team's weaknesses. For example, the center position, which has long been a point of concern, could be addressed through trade talks or by signing a free agent who can provide the necessary depth in the frontcourt. The question of whether the Celtics can continue to rely on their aging veterans is another factor that could shape the team's future. As certain players approach the twilight of their careers, it may be time to consider moving on from them while they still hold trade value. This decision is especially important for players who may soon hit free agency or are nearing the end of their prime. While it's difficult to let go of players who have contributed to the team's success, the reality is that the Celtics' championship window will not last forever, and they must make bold moves to remain contenders. Another key element in the Celtics' offseason strategy will be their ability to make the right moves during the draft. The team's front office has a track record of selecting young, talented players who can contribute immediately. If the Celtics are able to secure a high draft pick, they could add a promising prospect who can make an impact on the team right away. This would provide the Celtics with another option for strengthening their roster without having to part with any of their star players. In free agency, the Celtics will also need to be aggressive in adding pieces that complement their core group. The team has shown a willingness to spend money to bring in talent, and with the financial pressures they face, they will need to be strategic in their spending. The Celtics could target players who offer immediate help, particularly in areas where the team is currently lacking, such as rim protection, scoring depth, or bench production. As the Celtics approach the offseason, it's clear that they'll need to make difficult decisions that could shape the franchise for years to come. Whether it's trading a star player, adding fresh talent through the draft, or pursuing key free agents, the team's management will need to remain agile and focused on their long-term goals. The challenge ahead is significant, but it's not insurmountable. With a strong front office and a committed ownership group, the Celtics can navigate this difficult period and continue to be a powerhouse in the NBA. Looking ahead, the team's ability to manage the roster, stay within the salary cap, and make smart acquisitions will determine their ability to remain competitive. It's not just about this season or the next. It's about positioning the team for sustained success. As we've seen time and again, the NBA is a league where the landscape can change rapidly, and teams that fail to adapt quickly risk falling behind. The Celtics must continue to evolve, and that may mean making tough choices along the way. Ultimately, the Celtics' future is in their hands. The next few months will be critical in determining whether they can maintain their position as one of the NBA's elite teams, or whether they'll need to reset and rebuild for the future. Whatever happens, the management team will need to stay focused on what's best for the franchise and the long-term health of the team. This is the reality of professional sports, where the pursuit of championships often requires difficult decisions and sacrifices. The Celtics are no strangers to making bold moves, and now, more than ever, they will need to do so to ensure that the team remains a contender in the years to come. As the season progresses, the Celtics fans will be closely watching every move the team makes. Whether it's through trade rumors, free agency signings, or the draft, the Celtics front office will have plenty of opportunities to shape the team's future. It's an exciting time for the franchise, but also a nerve-wracking one, as the team faces important decisions that will determine their success in the coming years. The Celtics' ability to navigate these challenges will define their legacy in the NBA. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The Boston Celtics are dreaming big, and their latest target could shake the entire NBA landscape. According to sources close to the organization, the Celtics are actively exploring the possibility of bringing Nikola Jokić to Boston. The Serbian superstar, a three-time MVP and reigning Finals MVP, has solidified himself as one of the most dominant forces in basketball. Now, the Celtics are reportedly strategizing how they could pull off one of the most ambitious moves in franchise history. While Jokić remains under contract with the Denver Nuggets, the Celtics believe they could present an enticing offer that might convince the reigning champions to consider parting ways with their franchise cornerstone. Boston's front office is well aware that acquiring Jokić would require an unprecedented trade package, possibly involving multiple all-star caliber players and draft picks. However, given Jokic's transformative impact on any team he plays for, the Celtics see this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The excitement in Boston isn't just limited to the front office. Players and fans alike are buzzing with speculation. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have formed one of the most dynamic duos in the league, But pairing either of them with Jokić would create an offensive juggernaut unlike anything the NBA has seen in recent years. With his elite playmaking, rebounding, and scoring ability, Jokić could be the missing piece that finally delivers banner number 18 to the TD Garden. Still, the road to making this dream a reality is filled with obstacles. The Nuggets have no immediate reason to trade their best player, and Jokić himself has shown loyalty to Denver, repeatedly stating his love for the city and the franchise. Additionally, the Celtics would have to navigate the salary cap intricacies and potential roster changes that a blockbuster deal of this magnitude would entail. Nevertheless, Boston is determined to explore every possible avenue to land the Serbian superstar. Whether this move materializes or remains a tantalizing what-if, one thing is clear. The Celtics are willing to go all in for another championship. If there's even the slightest opening to bring Jokić to Boston, the franchise is ready to push the limits. Could the NBA's most skilled big man soon be wearing green and white? Celtics fans are daring to dream. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.